Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Roll and Keep, powered by Cortex Prime. We are in episode 2 of Eidolon Alpha, our Greek mythology, sort of Blood of Zeus, sort of Final Fantasy, sort of Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's weird. But it's super fun. Super into this world. We're in episode 2. You can check out episode 1. The VOD's up on YouTube right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. My name is Joe Starr. I am the least important person on this screen because look at these people we have with us. Cam Banks, who is the head developer of Cortex Prime. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Aliza Pearl, looking incredible, putting us all to shame with the cosplay today.
I didn't give anyone else the memo.
No. Well,
wanted to just show up and be the best person here, and
surprise!
Fair.
Full costume.
You have me at a disadvantage because the only way I can do cosplay for my character is just endless crunches, just an unbelievable amount of crunches.
Listen, get you a washboard and just stick it right there. You're done.
A washboard, good for two things: keeping rhythm and building abs. And then, of course, rounding around the circle to the most important person in this little virtual room right now, our narrator for Eidolon Alpha, Mellie. Hello.
Hello.
Muted.
I was, but I'm not anymore.
It is my job to tell you the following things: that the Dragon Prince Tales of Xadia TTRPG is now available for pre-sale. Links are being dropped into the chat, or if you're watching in the future on YouTube, links are in the description below. You can also buy yourself a copy of Cortex Prime. Again, links in the chat, links in the description below. Today, heroic successes in the game are going to trigger giveaways for that very book. Thank you, sir. And if you want to check out some of the other stuff we've been doing, Roll and Keep just wrapped an arc of Tales of Xadia. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. And we also kicked off this series in a setting called Hammerheads. So you can check that out as well. I think that's more than enough talk from me. I'm going to hand this ship over to Mellie to get us started for episode 2 of Eidolon Alpha.
Yeah. So, in our last episode, we entered the world of Eidolon Alpha with the promise that 4 endarchs, chosen conduits for the immense powers of the godlike Eidolons, would begin discovering their shared destiny together. Though conflicted upon first meeting, which is kind of unsurprising when it was, hunter meets hunted meets hunter meets another person, we left our 4 endarchs around a late-night campfire, revealing what they each believed to be the truth. So we now know that the Griffin seeks someone dear to him, someone seen by the Chimera who wishes to protect rare scrolls with her life after she nearly burned with them. And we know that the Minotaur was hired to retrieve those scrolls and return them to a woman named Damaris, who claimed they were stolen. And then there's the Gorgon. And the Gorgon has a very important task to complete. But we go back to a time before this meeting, and we soar over the city-states of the Sea of Corsi, where we can look down and watch the patchwork shapes of each region below. From the green orchards of the phoenix-led Regnium to the stark whites and browns and grays of the wyvern land of Ophelia. The division between all of these places is distinct. This is the ancient balance of the 10 city-states and the 10 eidolons for which each has been founded. And just as their cultures can be seen in their people and structures and scriptures, it can be seen also in their allegiances, for the feuds of the Decantheon are played out here in the realm of mortals. The city-state of the Gorgon will always ally with that of the Wyvern and the Griffin, and the Griffins will always be enemy to the Manticores. So it has been, and so it shall always be, as it is not for us to question the Eidolons, after all. And perhaps for that reason, or maybe no reason at all, that is why you have arrived in the wyvern state of Ophelium, Ectonios. you're hardly a priest, and so it's not for you to understand the draw of the echo, but you're an endarch, and the Gorgon's will lives through you. As you arrive in this city and take in kind of the stone and marble and desert dust of this place, how are you feeling? How has your journey been? How do you look? Tell us about your arrival here.
Well, I'm wearing the traveling clothes that would be most useful to cross from my home city state to this one. We're neighbors, I believe, along the way, and traveling from the lands of the Gorgon to Ophelia. The biggest problem that I have is that very quickly we go from what is I would consider to be a fairly moderate and temperate climate to the wastelands, as we refer to it, of the Wyvern cult. And here, the only way we can get out of this dusty desert coastline is to climb up there to the city-state. So I am prepared myself. I have a mule, I have myself, I have some of my family tools. I've been called. I'm not entirely sure whenever I do that, if it's here, am I being asked to come here to practice my stonemasonry skills? Is there something endarch related? It could be either one of those. Who knows what the Gorgon wants. I also have the problem of that I don't know how to interpret my visions too well. And so I'm preparing for most occasions in this case. I'm hoping that someone will tell me once I get here why I'm meant to be here.
Absolutely. And so as you're and while you're traveling, do you have any of your endarch attributes visible, or do you just kind of look like, any other person from your city-state?
Yeah, I don't like to wear them visibly too often when I'm traveling. To my experience with those I've heard of before, other Gorgon endarchs will often manifest these tusks, or they'll take their skin to the tone of marble or granite or something like that. And I'm quite comfortable just looking like an average mason. I don't have that sort of sense of needing to display it very well. But endarchs can recognize endarchs, and so if I have to find someone on the road who's a problem, then we'll get to that.
Definitely. So as you're kind of traveling, you're making your way up to the city-state. You kind of notice as you sort of arrive and begin your climb, there are these sentinels sort of about, wyvern sentinels. They can fly. They've got kind of these like scaly, leathery sort of wings. And one of them, takes off around the time that you arrive. Probably, it could just be a timing thing. But you do notice the more you climb, the more people stop and look at you.
Okay.
And whisper about you. Like, you don't have any of your sort of endarch qualities active, and yet you are catching a lot of eyes. How do you react to that?
Well, the Gorgons endarchs we can manifest wings as well, but ours don't look quite like that. So if I wanted to feel as if I could belong, maybe I could do that and sprout them, and see if that hits off any sort of like assurances from them. I think that I'm worried that they consider me a potential threat. So if I say, look, hey, I'm like, you know what I'm like, I'm a Gorgon, that's all good. Maybe they'll be okay. So I'm gonna have those manifest and just come out of my shoulders and backwards. They look like just like dove wings, like they can go the color of stone, but at this moment they look like the grayish white looking wings, the kind that my Eidolon likes to manifest with.
Yeah, for sure. So you kind of, these wings kind of come out, and you see as people who are already looking, like jaws dropping. There's a small child who's just like kind of pulling on their mother's chitin and just like pointing very excitedly, and another sentinel just flies overhead and quickly up towards kind of the top of the city, and up farther up to what looks to be maybe like a cave that's sort of carved into the side of this cliff. And as you sort of try to gauge this reaction, like, is this okay or not? a woman starts to kind of come down the steps, almost like stumbling, like she's really in a rush. Kind of has this basket over one arm. She's draped in green, has dark hair that's pulled into this wrapped bun, and she's got curls kind of springing around her cheeks and her brow, and this sheen of sweat on her. And she just pants as she kind of gets closer to you, and just immediately you'll hear Petrarch, and just almost just goes into a bit of a bow, but then has to stand up a bit as kind of the basket kind of tinkles, and you can kind of see as a cover moves, and you see spices and tinctures in these glass containers, and she has to not jostle it. But Petrarch, welcome. It is my greatest honor to welcome you to Ophelia. And she's sort of leaning over, like she's kind of looking behind you, and kind of meeting your gaze, but then, tilting a bit as if looking for something else.
So I'm like, I'll look around and I kind of came alone. I hope it wasn't meant to have somebody else here, I mean, if I was...
The others aren't with you. It's just you?
Yeah. Just me?
Oh, no. All right. So welcome, please. She kind of pushes the basket into your arms.
Sure. Yeah. No problem. I'll take this with. Am I going to follow you? Can someone look out for my mule?
Yes, absolutely. She just kind of signals, and you can tell by the way that she's dressed that she probably is a priestess of some kind, right, which gets quite a bit of respect. So there are people that kind of quickly sort of take note of this, come and help. But she's a little frantic as she kind of guides you up the steps. She brings you to this, up towards this cave in the side of the temple, but not into it. Instead, you kind of end up on this plateau, this stone plateau. There's these columns that you're from a place where, the stone is beautiful, well crafted. Your family are crafters. Looking at this, it's stable.
Yeah.
Enough that you're like, this is fine. It really just has to hold up.
I just put a few shivs in here and then just shimmy it.
Yes, well, I'll just leave for one moment. I'll be right. Just stay here. Enjoy the.
Yeah, no problem. Just go ahead and do what you need to do.
Yeah, she runs into the cave, leaving you with these columns.
Yeah. I'll just sort of walk around and inspect them a little bit, like eyeing them, looking like I'm trying to belong and fit in. And probably don't look like that at this point.
Absolutely. And you're there for quite a while, just in this silence. There's nobody else really around. There are still people kind of below this plateau that you can tell are still sort of whispering. People are kind of gawking. There's a building across the way. People are kind of pulling the curtain back and looking out the window at you. And just like a little kid just gets really excited that you waved at them. And eventually she comes back looking more distraught, if that's possible. Like when you have to tell a customer something that you really wish you didn't, but you have to. And she just sort of straightens her chitin and just
it's a lot of fuss for I'm not all that impressive, to be honest. I don't think
the truth is that I'm sorry I didn't explain much before, but you have been foreseen. We have seen your face before this moment.
Oh, well, I mean, I do look like a lot of people.
No, it is most certainly not anyone else, especially the moment that you sprouted those wings, our sentinels rushed to us. The Oracle has seen your arrival, but it was not just you. Well, I mean, he said there was one where there was just you, but there was also ones with other people, and it's very important, he said, that you all arrive together. It's the only way for the proper ending, he said.
Okay. Do you think maybe they're still on the road? I could go out and find them.
Well, he doesn't know, really.
Can I talk to him? I mean, it probably would be quicker if I just had a little... We could have a conversation. We could get to it. It's no problem.
I'm so sorry. I know you've come very far, but he says that if he meets you, that it may start a series of events that we cannot turn back from. And I must tell you, before today, none of us really believed his stories, but your face... You must perhaps find the others, and he'll meet with you. He'll tell you all that he has seen. He has maps and stories and information.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, look, you can take your things back. This you want me to have them? I don't.
You can keep them. That's fine. We'll have more next time. It's fine. Really, I'm so glad that you're okay. Okay. It's good. I just He said I forgot the people that you must find, the people he's searching for, that you must find, that you must search for as well. The philosopher, and the keeper, and the builder, and the hunter. You should be one of those, yes?
I think I'm probably a builder of any of those things.
Then it's correct. Then this is exactly what needs to happen. So you will find them, and you will bring them here, yes?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah. I'll do what. It's funny. On the road here, every once in a while, I'd stop and I'd feel it. I'd feel that feeling. Do you ever get that feeling, priestess? I know you probably don't because you're not.
No.
Okay, so like it's that from somewhere that someone's saying, "Hey," and they're just trying to let you know there's something that you really have to know, and they're kind of getting it partly way, but it's like that it's not very loud, and you want to tune it in a little more. And I don't understand if you're following me here, but I'm hearing a call, and I'm hearing it from all over the place, and it's. I'm ignoring it right now because I'm talking to you, and you seem quite nice, and I don't want it to distract. But it is quite annoying.
Well, perhaps the only way to end such a call is to find its source. Yes, there should be, perhaps, from what I have read, perhaps other people who the echoes of your soul will fall in tune with.
Right, yes. Is there somewhere that's just really, really stone, like just not anything else I can sit for a while and trying to focus this? Because I think sometimes that works. And maybe if I could just have a lump of just like some raw, just give me some raw marble, just get me something so I can start banging away at it. That'll make me feel a whole lot better, and maybe I can tune that in a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. If that's what you'd like, absolutely. Please. And she just starts guiding you out, and she stops after a moment and turns back and grabs something else that had been set down. Also, the Hellenic said to give you this, that it might help. And this is going to be a D6 asset. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can decide what you think this is and introduce it at a time that you want to.
All right.
It's going to be a D6 asset that is helpful to your cause.
Let's say it's in a leather bag for right now.
Sure.
And I'll attach it to my waist like I've got my other stuff.
Absolutely. So you get that. She guides you, gives you access to kind of where the marble workers are, and it doesn't even take her introducing you to them for them to all again recognize your face and kind of give you a deference and a respect that is a little weird. And then we cut back to the firelit clearing where two Manticore mercenaries, people that Delphine you've been traveling with for a few days, they've had your back. They lurk just outside of the shadows, just within that firelight, their weapons drawn but limp to their sides, their eyes so dark and black that they are void of reflection of that fire. And Delphine, you sense them first. Ectonios, you're also kind of noticing this as it's happening. Zeph and Lysandra kind of in this conversation as these people sort of step out of the brush. Delphine, what do you do?
Yeah, I take a couple steps towards them, but I notice the weird vibes. Because you said that I last time you said that I couldn't, there was nothingness in them, right? When I kind of
Yeah,
tried
their
to, like,
eyes are just, there's like nothing. Like there's eyes there. It's not like they have holes, but there's no reflection, there's no structure. It's just kind of a darkness that is beyond even the darkness of the outside around you.
So I say to the rest of the group, something ain't right with them boys. I don't like this. And I'm gonna just beef up my arms a little bit. Go partial ape body arms. And I say to the rest of the group, just stay on guard. Let's see how this plays out. And I just keep looking at the two as they approach.
Delphine, Korax, kind of the male, has got a spear kind of dragging on the ground. Just kind of starts to kind of lumber in your direction. The other Korax, Onyx, has that bolus, and it's just kind of held there. She doesn't move forward. She just kind of stays back, seems really like quiet and blank. But Korax steps towards you, looking at kind of the other people here, but in a way that you're not sure if they've actually seen anybody. Do you have the scrolls? Did you get them? Did you get the scrolls?
No, we didn't.
Isn't that the girl? Just kind of points in the direction of Lysandra.
Yeah, she lost them. I have a bigger question. Where y'all been?
We were looking for the scrolls and encountered wolves. The one or two would be fine. We could take on wolves, but a pack of wolves, not a pack. We couldn't do a pack, and we had to hide for a bit. Should we start looking for the scrolls again? Because we really need to find those scrolls.
Yeah, we should. But y'all look like you need some rest first.
Did we hear any wolves at all on our travels or this evening?
Not really.
I think they're lying. Not sure.
I want to position myself like so that I'm next to Delphine, and the two of us are kind of out of the in between these two and Lysandra and Zeph, you know.
And these other two seem to almost try to kind of move so that they can still see everyone, but they don't move fast enough. They seem to be like, they're a little bit more lumbering than even before. And, as, Delphine, you're kind of bulked up. Ectonios, you're pretty hefty. And taking the moment, Lysandra just kind of like dives behind Zeph for a moment and is a lizard again and small and just kind of like digs herself into like a little like a hollow log, hiding. And as they kind of move around to be able to see her, you see as like Onyx, the woman, just kind of sneers in a really like weird twitchy kind of way.
So yeah, we should talk because I've learned some new information about our little mission here to find the scrolls.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you are.
Somebody gonna pay us more? They're gonna pay us more? Because we could get behind that.
Yeah.
If only.
These two look messed up.
Yeah.
Meth. Not even once.
What did you find out, Delphine?
Let's just be real. I looked over at Ectonius and I'm like, look, we're not dumb. And like I've been working with y'all long enough to know that this is not normal for either y'all. So
we're tired, like you said, we're tired.
I step forward a little bit and I wave my ape arm in front of one of their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if there's no pupil or anything, nothing.
Nope.
What do you know? What happened? Do you know what's going on in your face right now?
What do you mean? What's going on in my face? It's just my face.
Someone got to you. That's what.
What do you mean someone got to me? Nobody got to me. The only person who got to me is you right now. You're really getting to me right now. Delphine, we gotta go. We gotta get these scrolls. So if you have more information, then give us the information.
All right. I look over at Ectonius. Maybe we should tell them.
Yep.
Not, we should tell them that here's the thing. Here's the thing. What we should tell y'all.
Yes.
Which is the only thing we know, which is that the person who hired us for this job was probably not actually legit or the owner of them scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And who is the owner of the scrolls?
No one, apparently. They just belong to the, I don't know, to the
Well,
people.
Damaris was going to pay us for them.
Yeah, but those scrolls, they have some capabilities, and in the wrong hands, they could cause a lot of harm. You know what I'm saying?
They're just scrolls. Can't be that harmful.
You know what else can cause a lot of harm? Me. And Zeph sort of tries to make sure that he is between Lysandra the lizard and these two. So as they sort of try to circle around, he just sort of tries to clock between.
Yeah, totally. So you just have this kind of equal space kind of between you and Lysandra and Corax, who's talking with Delphine on one side, and Onyx, who's just been sort of lumbering just really slowly, almost like if you turned and looked away for a moment and looked back, you would be like, how did you get over there? You didn't move. It didn't look like you were moving, but just over on kind of the other side. So now they're kind of split across this clearing.
How
All right.
how unnatural do these things look?
I mean, look at what Mellie's doing. Pretty unnatural.
Yeah, no. Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. This is completely natural for my face. I mean, you could try to sort of get a feel for them with a roll. We could do a roll here.
okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and set a difficulty for this, which I think is I think to get a real sense of what's going on is gonna be 2d8s. I'll go ahead and throw that in. And then there's a die here attached to their traits that is going to be another d8 onto this.
All right.
I'm going to roll this. We'll see how it sets up. See if it'll be like last week. No, it's not. It's not like last week. That's fine. I'll accept it. It's a 9, so you have to beat a 9. So tell me, how do you want to go? And let's actually take a moment too for people who are new to this show and talk about the trait sets that we have going on here, because we've got attributes, which are the things that are about you, what do you have as strengths of your character. Those are pretty standard across different RPGs. Distinctions, which we've had in kind of all of our Cortex games, so these are the elevator pitch of the character, so they sum up these different bits and pieces of who you are. And we have roles, which is really interesting. And in this game, the roles are priest, warrior, and scout. And what these represent are skill sets, so a range of skills. So our priests are our scholars in this. I think that's kind of one thing that people might not be able to guess right away. Yep. Warrior, scout, those are pretty self-explanatory. But yes, anything lore related, and that's all going to go under priest. You can also kind of have a custom role, which you have, Cam, and I believe somebody else does as well, which you've got a crafter role. But those are kind of our main sets we have going on here. So how do you want to approach this?
I'm thinking drawing on my knowledge of what normal is and what normal isn't is kind of a thing. I've been taught some stuff about the shadow and about the problems that can face endarchs in one way or another. That's why I have a distinction for that purpose. So stand fast against the shadow will be my distinction in this one. If I can make it work, there we go. Priest is the role that I'm embracing. It's not that high, but I've said before that I got some book learning, but not a lot. Most of it actually isn't book learning. It's oral history and tradition, and I spend a lot more time learning other stuff and then listening to that. So that's the problem. And reason is a D8. So I am smart. I'm naturally fairly, with it.
Yeah, smart but not learned.
Yeah. And none of my powers will make any difference, so I will not worry about them. Let's just give a quick check on SFX. No. Nope, nothing else applies. So let's go for it. How are we doing? Oh. So I got a hitch, but I got a 12.
Yeah, you got a 12, so that's going to be good enough to beat this. Let's see. For your hitch, I mean, I love buying hitches, so I'm going to buy your hitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be so that's a D6 complication. And I'm going to call that vision of nothingness.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
You stand fast against the shadow, but like as you kind of try to get this closer look at what is going on here, those eyes just almost kind of like suck your mind forward. And you were kind of complaining earlier about this echo that's just, it won't stop and you have to kind of drive it out. It's silent in this moment. You just feel like you're just in the middle of, a sensory deprivation chamber and there's nothing around you in this moment.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And that's when you make the connection of what is wrong with these two, which is an ancient thing that has been dead and buried for a long time, to the point where it was more like, fairy tales. It was boogeyman stories, which is a thing called Skotos. It is a dark, malevolent force that seeks to quiet the echo. It is the one thing that could possibly unite eidolons together against it, and it just wants to corrupt and consume. And realizing this, you can steel yourself and focus and pull your mind back out. So now you feel that echo just kind of come back in like gongs being slapped in your head. And you know that this is bad news.
Yeah. So I've got a moment where I look at this, and then I'll reach out and I'll lay my hand, I guess, on Delphine's shoulder, and I'll say, "It's not good. It's taken them. Something's taken them. We have to stop them."
Realizing as you say this that the jig is up, these kind of slow lumbering figures just kind of tighten up immediately and just move quickly to strike.
Yikes.
Yeah. We're gonna go into action order here. So with action order, I kind of throw who goes first, and then at the end of each turn, that person's gonna pick who goes next. And if you're last in the order, you can also just pick for yourself to go again at the top of the next order. So with this, I'm going to give Ectonios, I'm going to give you a moment here because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
That if you would like to act first, I'm going to give it to you. Otherwise, it's going to go to one of the two mercenaries.
Oh, I'll definitely go first if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
No, that sounds
tell me
fun.
what you would like to do.
Yeah, but I mean, I've sort of warning Delphine about it, but then I'm just going to draw the copus at my waist and move forward to try and block and keep. Is it the first one? What's that? Corax?
Corax, yeah.
Keep Corax away from us. I'm not trying to take their head off or anything. It's not at all the plan. It's more like intervene and block and maybe even try to disarm them because that spear is a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and throw a pool together. So an action order is action reaction. So instead of in a test where I would roll first and set the difficulty, if you're taking the action, you're going to be rolling first, which can mean that you kind of have less ability to just be like, oh, well, now I'll spend my plot points. And, I know that it'll help me. It's a little bit more risky.
Yeah. And my powers don't really come into play either because most of my are defensive or I turn people to stone, which is not what I'm doing here either. So, all right. So I'm going to pick the warrior roll, which for me is a D10. And I just was reminded that there's a plot point I should add myself. And in this case, courage, because I'm steeling myself against it. I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
And hard-hearted captain is my distinction I'm using. There we go. 2 10s and an 8.
Ooh.
All right. 14 with D10 effect.
Okay. That's a really small number. I could totally beat that. Okay. Cool. Great. So I got these Skotos infested Manticore cultists. So they're just like lunging forward, trying to get this spear through you. You kind of come up to defend and block them, and they're just trying to ram right through. Like they're trying to push you aside to stop you from stopping them. So just, immovable force meets immovable object, or unstoppable, you know what I mean? Yes. Words. So I got 8 for Skotos. It gets its own die in there. This is their cutthroat and their bullying. I got 3 D8s in here. Which, I mean, I gotta roll real good for this to work, but let's just see. Aha! I did not. So I got an 8. I did get a hitch. If you would like to buy it to get rid of that complication.
I would. I don't want to have this vision in my head. I think I've earned it. So I'll spend that plot point to step my complication down to a D4.
Amazing. And not only that, but your 14 is definitely more than 5, higher than 8, which makes it a heroic success. That D10 steps up to a D12. And this person is represented with a D8 as the kind of their main trait. So in this case, as this minor GMC, that's going to be enough for you to take them out. Okay. So you definitely succeed in this. How would you like to take them out of this scene and keep them from continuing to act here?
Okay, so reminding you again that I'm not trying to kill anything. The spear comes towards me and I block it to one side. And then I'm going to travel up along the spear with my sword, moving it out of the way so that hopefully the spear is this way. And then headbutt at the end to knock the guy out.
Yeah, this guy has
I got a pretty solid head too.
Yeah, he has a big, like, meaty head as well, like, big target, easy, just hits, he just tumbles backwards, falls, the kind of spear just kind of, not even falling limp next to him, his hand loses grip of it, kind of stuck where you stuck it. You kind of have that now as they tumble back, and Corax is out of this already with that amazing roll from Cam. Awesome. Who would you like to throw it to next?
I want Delphine to go next. I think she might have something to say to Onyx.
Hey. All right. So, Delphine, what would you like to do?
I'm literally just going to punch him. I want to punch that Skotos out of him.
All right. So, yeah, Onyx is kind of starting to kind of move forward towards Zeph. And you just come on in. You're going to try to go for a punch. Go ahead.
It's definitely going to be like the Hulk punching. Was it Loki?
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Yeah. Just a reminder, or to clarify, Mellie, is was Corax male and Onyx female?
Or yes, Corax is male, and that's one who's been knocked out by Ectonios, and Onyx is the sister.
They're siblings.
They're siblings. They got matching shark teeth tattoos up the side of their face.
I should have
and
placed
they're equally dumb.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead and build a dice pool for me, Delphine.
Well, definitely gonna do warrior. Let's see. Maybe just vigor. Just vigor, yeah. Minotaur's metal arc for sure. And is bronze skin just for defensive or
Yeah.
yeah? Okay. Then
Do you have super strength as a thing? Is strength
Oh,
one
I
of your?
do. Yes, I do.
Yep.
Goal
That's,
strong arms.
That's my roll, and I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, you guys and your really big dice. Jeez.
And a hitch.
Well, I like the hitch. That's nice. Actually, this is a little bit more plausible for me to get this time. So I like it. Thank you, Aliza.
You're
I'm
welcome.
gonna go ahead and buy that hitch from you. Which I think is just gonna be that as you're kind of going in towards Onyx, you notice because Lysandra just sort of scuffled her way into this log, and you can see as she's still like trying to pull and get the bag with the scrolls in it to fit as well. But right now it is just kind of out there, and you notice just at the last minute as Onyx is not going for you or for Zeph, she's taking a diagonal and trying to just go for that pack. So this is gonna be loose, or I guess not loose scrolls. Scrolls.
We had this last time, didn't we? Loose scrolls.
There was loose scrolls. I was trying to think of a different way to call it, but it's scrolls for taking. Scrolls for the taking. That's what it's called. That's the D6, and I'm gonna roll this now. So I've got this D6 complication, which is great. I love it. I got this 8 mercenary. They're very motivated by this is what I'm here for, and they're 8 for Skotos. I don't think that their other traits are gonna apply on this one though. So I gotta roll real good. Do it.
Ooh.
Rat. I'm not. I was really lulled into a false sense of security of how good my rolls would be last week, and it really has not panned out. It's not as bad of a failure, but it is not good enough, and a D10 is still really, really high. So Delphine, as Onyx kind of like faints to one side and then goes to dash for that pack of scrolls, tell me what happens as you kind of take them out of the scene.
I'm actually gonna use my arm as a clothes hanger, so they just kind of like knock their head into it and just fall flat on their back.
Awesome. This just tiny scuffle. Like these two, they were your backup. You were definitely kind of the star of the mercenary show between the three of you, and that's made very clear by just how quickly Ectonios and Delphine were able to dispatch them. So they're just unconscious. They're not dead. But tell me now, as you all stand there with these two potentially darkness-infected people lying there, what are you all doing?
I point my spear at Delphine.
What's... Excuse me?
What'd you do to them?
I didn't do anything to them. You saw they were out in the woods for a long time, and somebody got to them and infected them, and they came back to us. I've been with y'all this whole time.
It's true. She has been. And also, I can tell you this. What's wrong with them is not wrong with her.
What? Excuse me. There's nothing wrong with me.
That's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Look, the real problem here is that we've got these two jokers that we need to do something with.
Well, we got to tie them up, obviously. Let's tie them to a tree.
Yeah. I don't know how to get the shadow out of them. That's not... I don't know how they even got that way.
I'm going to start tying them up because I don't want them to wake up and come after people again.
Yeah, for sure. So you start tying them up. Are you tying them like to a tree? Or are you just tying them to each other?
I was thinking to a tree. Yeah, to a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So you get them tied off to a tree. seems to go fine. They're both out.
Maybe
pretty
two
cold,
separate
so-
trees. Separation.
Sure, yeah. Separated trees across the clearing, 5 feet apart at least. Zephyr, are you doing anything as this is happening, or just grumbling?
Yeah, just complaining. Really, what do I roll for that?
Yeah, it was the complaining roll.
I think Zeph's like, if you didn't do anything to them, and I think you did, but if you didn't, whatever did, which is probably you, is still out there. And so I'm gonna hop up and take off above the tree line so I can see if we're safe, see if there's still something out there, either coming at us or watching or.
Perfect. So you kind of go off on your own. Delphine and Ectonios, you got them tied up. Anything else you want to make sure you do in this scene?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go over to those scrolls and our little lizard friend, and hey, little lizard gal, we definitely need to get out of here because people are coming for you. This is getting real.
She's just kind of looking side to side, weighing her lizard options at this moment. And then just kind of just crawls into the scroll bag, and then pokes her head out and nods at you.
Yeah, and I pick up the scroll bag and I secure it to my hip like it's a pouch, I don't know.
Totally.
Like a messenger bag, I guess.
Yep. So yeah, you've now got those. You have the Sundry, you have the scrolls, and
It's like a fanny pack. Sorry.
a mythological fanny pack.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your plan that you have to move. You have to go somewhere. And we kind of cut to above the trees where Zeph, you're trying to survey everything. You're trying to make sense of what's happened with what Lysandra told you about the boy she saw, but what you just saw with those two people. And you start to hear this whisper that starts to kind of grow. Almost like it's sort of coming from your feet and your hands, and then just starts to kind of course through you. That's just whispering these doubts, she's lying to you about what she saw with your brother. She knows more than she said. She hurt him. You heard that fire. You saw her blow fire. She makes fire. And this Delphine, clearly there's something wrong. Just all of the things you're already thinking, but magnified and just whispered in all of these voices. And one of those voices is your brother. You can just hear it in your mind. And we're going to do a little roll here as unseen by the others as this infection leaves these two mercenaries, going into kind of the bark of the tree, this reverse sap, kind of sucking back into it, traveling through this tree and up to where you are perched on it. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll some dice.
Oh no. What?
Which I'm going to do. This is going to be... This is a little bit of Skotos. It's just a bite-sized Skotos. So it's
Just a
gonna
taste.
It's just going to be 3d8s. It could be
Well,
worse.
just a little bump of Skotos.
Just your first,
fine.
your first one's free. So I'm going to roll these 3d8s, which is 2d8, and then add 1d8 for the Skotos. 13? There we go. I finally got a roll that I like. Pretty happy with that. I need you to tell me, this is a mental, your willpower sort of thing, but you tell me what's going on with you and how you want to approach this role.
I don't know. So I think Zeph would be pretty open to I don't know how would you call it, a self-affirming voice in his head, just yeah, I know. These are all things that I think. So it's not he probably can't tell that something's happening quite yet. Mellie, what do you think about the idea of whether it remains just sort of traffic in his head, or if he really starts like hearing a clear voice via Skotos, like maybe his brother's voice or something like that?
Absolutely. You have this voice in your head that just echoes like your brother. And you think about just moments ago when you saw him, clear as day, right there in front of you, blaming you for everything, and now he's in here. He's speaking to you. He's very much present, and he's telling you, like, you cannot trust these people with these scrolls. They are too precious. That's why I tried to get them. When she saw me in the library, I was trying to get them. She stole them. You can't trust them with the power that they hold.
So I'm gonna, I guess, kind of roll to see how much this ends up in the driver's seat.
Sure.
If that makes sense. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my guile. I'm not gonna pull something from my rolls because I feel like none of them really apply.
So yeah, if none of your rolls, I mean, you've got, so what do you have? Scout, 10, warrior, 8.
Priest maybe applies a little.
Yeah, this would be a priest roll.
There's always a roll.
Yeah.
Even if it's.
It just means it's a D4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's see, what distinction would work here?
This might be use a hinder for one of them too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A hinder for swear to me because he's kind of hearing what he wants to hear. This is like reinforcing sort of the narrative in his head. So I'm gonna roll swear to me as a hindrance.
Point for that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Let me pop that in there. And then powers don't really apply. Claws, flight, speed don't really apply. So I'm gonna roll these 3 dice and kind of see what happens.
Gosh.
Right.
Okay.
Excellent. So definitely this voice, it just is, you can't let them leave with the scroll. You need to find the right opportunity to get them and destroy them.
I won't let you down again.
You better not.
I won't let you down again.
I'm counting on you.
And with that, he sort of hops back out from the top of the tree and kind of, there's just a big old cloud of cape. And he like drops back down to the ground and then kind of like settles around him. Big glares at everybody.
Well, welcome back to the rest of us. I was just having a conversation with Delphine here that I think I know a place that we could go. It might be. I feel that I was supposed to have all of you together. That's the plan. And now it's even more clear that this force is working against you. I think it's time to go to Ophelia.
We got really nowhere else to go, so
no,
let's try it out.
It's about 3 days from here, so that's a bit of a trick. But I mean, that's where I came from. I went there. There's someone there who wants us all together as a seer or an oracle or something. And when I arrived, they knew who I was. When I hadn't been there since I was a child, so it wasn't because they knew me from before. And so I said, hey, and the priestess said, well, maybe you should go and get some more people. And I said, well, I don't have anyone else in here. And she said, why don't you go sit down in the room and listen to it about it? I listened to it, and here we are. And so now I came across Lisette wherever she is, and you and him. And I thought, okay, this is it. This is the group. Now, what was it? She said builder, That's me. Philosopher, that's our friend the Chimera. Are you a philosopher? I guess. What were the other two? Can I remember them, Mellie?
Yep, it would have been Keeper and Hunter.
The Keeper. So that's the librarian, right? And Hunter, that's you, Zeph. So I think we have the full set. Let's head back to the Wyverns and tell them.
Where's the librarian?
Oh, I got her right here.
Kind
Oh,
of pokes
do
her little
you?
lizard head out of the bag.
Yeah, she's hiding back there.
Well, it looks like you got what you came for.
I mean, it seems like we're in on this together now, so do you want to help us get there safely?
Sure, I'll help.
That's
All right.
great. That's really great. See, I knew this was going to work out just fine. I had a good feeling about it, but only the noise would stop.
What noise?
Oh, the echo. Hear the call. It's a thing. I'm not actually a priest, so a lot of it's right over my head, so to speak. But we're all endarchs. We understand the echo.
Is it the echo or is it tinnitus? It's hard to tell. But as you all sort of kind of established that where you're going and that you gotta go now because who knows what else might be out here, you begin traveling. And over the course of 3 days, 4 endarchs traveling together definitely is enough to keep most of the normal troubles of the road easily at bay. And you are able to reach your destination, Ophelia. For those of you who haven't been here, you have to kind of had to cross a bit of more of a desert wasteland. But when you get here, you see is kind of the walls of the city kind of hold in these kind of more grassy hills. Like everything that is okay about this region is sort of all in one spot. This cliff overlooking the coastline. And to get into this place, you have to walk this enormous set of stairs that bring you kind of up into the city proper. And just on approach, sentinels flying off. You've got people stopping, and there's a couple people who kind of spoke with you briefly, mostly, marble workers, Ectonios, who you spoke with enough that they recognize you, and they kind of give you a nod, like, wow, like, you did it, and you immediately feel kind of this confidence, because people are reacting to these other 3, or I guess to maybe Lysandra's out at this point, but to these other people in the same way they reacted to you. That they've seen these faces before. They recognize them. It's almost like seeing a celebrity for the first time. Zeph and Delphine, how do you react to that kind of awe being granted to you?
Why are they looking at us like that?
Yeah, Zeph's really uncomfortable with this because he's spent the last couple years just sneaking around, probably when he didn't even need to be. So yeah, he's definitely got his little thing pushed up over to cover the bottom half of his face and just kind of hugging into his spear.
Are we not supposed to be here?
Oh no! This is exactly what it's like. I told you on the way here. I said, when we show up, they're gonna know you, even though you don't know who they are. So as I see a couple of people flying around, I'm just doing this, this is them.
You have one of the sentinels gives you a thumbs up.
Funny.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, I'm back. It's been a week.
You even have some people, Delphine, they kind of a little nervously coming up to you, but as they kind of get closer, and Tony just sort of has this energy about him, and they've seen him before, so they're a little more confident, and they just come up and they say, we're we're so happy to see you. Thank you. Welcome. If you need anything, and just people are kind of doing this as you're walking up the stairs. People are coming out of shops. Like, just let us know if there's anything that you need for your journey. We will help you. Thank you, heroes. Thank you. People seem very much to be of the opinion that you're already mythological heroes, even though, I mean, you know what you've done. Eventually coming down from kind of one of those side sets of stairs that you can see, Tony, you know that this kind of leads up to this cave and this plateau for the temple. Coming down is the same woman that you saw before. You learned her name last time was Phoebe, and she comes down and just kind of takes a look at you and just has this kind of moment of panic cross her face. I'm so sorry, did I say that you needed 2 others? We need 4. There was supposed to be 4 of you. Is there another one coming?
Yes,
I don't really want...
Oh yeah, look. And I lift up our little lizard friend. That's who you mean, right?
Yeah. She's a chimera.
Oh, right. Chimera's okay. Good. I was really... Okay, well, good. Well, great. Wonderful.
Sometimes she's a librarian and sometimes she's a lizard. It's a thing, and it's okay. Don't worry, everything's good. Is my mule okay? Did someone look after it?
Yes, absolutely. We can check.
Mule.
Would you like to check on the mule first? I feel like we should probably go to see the seer first, if that's okay. Is that okay? I feel like he's been waiting, and it might be important. I feel like, oracles,
He wouldn't see me last time. I'll explain to others. I said, look, he wouldn't see me because what he said was, I don't really want to see you. And I said, well, I want to see you. And I had to speak through Phoebe here, you understand, too. And Phoebe said, well, you need everybody, otherwise this thing will happen. And then we're going to start the ball rolling. We don't want to start it without everybody here. So now you're here. That's great. Let's go see him.
It's very great. I couldn't carry as many baskets as I wanted, but there are baskets, welcome baskets for you up on top. It's just a pleasure to meet you all. I'm Phoebe, and she's saying this as she walks and just up this just enormous set of stairs up to where that plateau is, and you see kind of the entrance to this cave, clearly this temple, because there are these kind of torches lit to the side and these carvings of the wyvern, this kind of snake with these almost dragon-like scaly wings and this crocodile head kind of curving up to the sides of this cavern doorway, if you want to call it that, and kind of coming in at the top together so that their jaws are almost like interlocked at the top. And you can see pretty much the whole city from here, which is a lot of gray and brown and some white from marble, but it's not a lot of color around here. And Phoebe's just kind of chattering on as she kind of guides you into this kind of the mouth of this temple. And a few steps in, and your eyes are almost just like spotty as everything around you is color. As all of the walls coming into here and going down every single pathway are painted with just these vibrant images. Some of them are way more like abstract and symbolic. You just see splashes of color that make you think, war and death and pain and end of the world. And a lot of them kind of have these big like slashes through them, like somebody just said, nope, that's not right. And just again, slash. None of these are correct. You go deeper and deeper down into another kind of tunnel of this cavern, and then you see in one of the walls kind of directly in front of you, yourselves. Your 4 faces together in Ophelium, and the day that it's drawn in looks like the weather was today. You see as you're kind of all looking up to this temple in this cliff. It is an incredible depiction of you. It looks exactly like you. It's almost like looking into a mirror. How do you react to that?
Tony, what weird thing have you brought us into?
I know, right? Look at this. I honestly, I hadn't seen the paintings before. But that's what he was talking about. If I had come in here without all of you, this would have been wrong, and I wouldn't. And it wouldn't. Well, maybe it would be just me, and then everything would be bad. I don't know how prophecies work. Do I look like that? I'm just staring at the. Huh. Okay.
You look exactly like that.
Yeah, and this looks like you, by the way, just so you know, and that looks like Zeph. That's all of us, and Lysandra right there.
This is really something.
Yeah, no wonder they
You
were.
even see like Animorphs cover style, like coming from the pack that Aliza's wearing, just like this transitioning image to Lysandra not being a lizard. So it's like it even knew she was going to come as a lizard, and she changed at some point.
Wow.
So it's a little like, oh wow, this is like
Is,
not just horoscopes.
Is the priestess still with us?
Yeah, she is. She's kind of just guiding you through. She does pause here as you're all sort of looking at this, which you can tell she expected, and she's kind of like nervously kind of like twirling one of the curls around her finger. Yeah, see, we all thought that it wasn't real, that he was just sort of drawing. He talked about these dreams, and dreams aren't always meaningful. But then Ectonios here showed up, and we all realized that perhaps, he was really an oracle, a real oracle.
So we're about to go see the person who drew this, right?
Yes. He's still working on even more. I believe he's trying to make sense of the things that the Echo sends him. So we've just been providing him the paints and allowing him to do what he will with the temple. It seems as though perhaps this is a matter of great urgency for the world. Which is great. And not at all terrifying, but we're going to get through it because you're all here now, which is great. It's further down this way if you'd like to follow.
Is Phoebe on any of the paintings?
No.
I just like I don't see you up here, Phoebe. That seems a bit.
Well, I don't think I'm really. I mean, I think I could have sort of been played by anyone. I'm just a priestess, but I've taken on the. I've been taking care of the place, and the welcoming. I made the baskets. Oh, I forgot the baskets outside. I'm so sorry, I forgot the baskets outside, but it's been.
Are there?
I'll get them while you meet with. Look, we should just. And she just kind of like ushers you down this hall, and you can start to hear now, kind of this, horsehair brush against stone. Like you can just hear the as something is being painted right now. And you approach from behind, kind of down this other tunnel, through, some tunnels that are darker and into one that is well lit. There's kind of just bowls kind of strewn everywhere, stone pedestals that have things on them, and this figure standing at this wall, kind of painting away. This kind of wider set gentleman with this kind of short cropped hair and a beard, and has this snake-like arm that is coming off the side and is holding a paintbrush, and that is what is actually doing this, and it's able to stretch very far, and the other hand is just kind of holding one of these bowls, and this guy kind of turns around. You see his eyes like a snake's eyes, and they just kind of like close to the sides and then open again, and then they look like human eyes as he kind of pulls that endarch power back into him. Oh, you're all here now. Oh, thank you, Phoebe. Thank you. May I get you anything? The Gorgon, the Griffin, Minotaur, points at the lizard. Chimera, you're all here. It's about time. Forgive me. I shouldn't penalize you for that. It's been some time, but there is still days in the year for all of this to work. So welcome. Beverages, food. We can do anything. I think. Well, some things. How are you all feeling?
weirded out that our faces are painted on your walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
also a little
I imagine
hungry.
that would be a
Little
little
hungry.
weird. It would be a lot weirder if you knew how many dreams I've had about you, which is a lot of dreams.
That is weirder.
Most of
You're
them good.
right.
You did die in a lot of them, but not in the good one, which is why I'm glad you're all here together. That's
We died in a lot of them.
Yes, a lot of people died. I died in a lot of them, and everybody died in some of them. But yes, you all died many times in my dreams. So
Unrelated, but she's hungry.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a meal.
absolutely, Phoebe, would you mind? Yes. Yes. So, I am just absolutely taken with you all. How much do you know? Tell me. I hate to jump into things so quickly, but it is urgent, so I'm sorry you haven't eaten yet. You will, but how much do you know about a world-consuming darkness known as Skotos?
Now that's a good question because we kind of ran into a little bit of that on the road.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say, Delphine? That was a good example.
Yeah. 2 of my former associates were taken by it and tried to do some nasty things to these scrolls and the people who were holding them. But what we don't understand is, I don't understand, are these scrolls something that could harm the Skotos? Why does the Skotos want the scrolls so much?
Scrolls. But
You don't know
do
about
have
scrolls?
These, I don't know about the scrolls.
You never
I know about many
dreamt about the
things, but I
scrolls?
did not see. I saw a scroll pack. I didn't know it was important. I thought we just help the lizard. Give me the scrolls. Come. And he just kind of swipes some bowls off of one of these pedestals. Just paint kind of splatters on some of the walls and just down, kind of and at Zeph's feet. So just like this yellow paint, like on your like dark boots, Zeph. Almost knocked over my own water as well. And it makes room for you to kind of bring these scrolls out.
Okay. Yeah, I bring
Lizard
how many
seems a
scrolls
little
are there?
bit nervous about this, but like doesn't
Understandable.
just but just let me see perhaps one of them. I don't need all, and then you can all watch me. You can even just hold it up. Just hold. I'll put my hands behind my head. I won't touch them. I know that it can be hard to trust people in this day and age. I've had many dreams where you all killed me. So hopefully that's not this one, but I don't think it is. Usually that's when you showed up by yourself and kind of gestures to you, Zeph. You do a lot of killing.
The day's not over yet.
Point. I'll do my best. Do you let him see the scrolls?
Yeah, I just kind of check in with our little lizard bae, make sure she's okay with it. He's not going to touch him. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
And I take one of the scrolls out and I unfurl it on the table.
We
And now
hadn't-
that you can...
Like,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think we've unfurled the scrolls yet. Like we just kept them in their case the whole time.
Mm-hmm. So as it unfurls, you can now all see that, like, this is in some, like, language and symbology that none of you recognize at a glance. You don't understand it. It looks like, like a language told in pictures, but nothing that you've ever seen on any temple walls even. This is so old that it must predate a lot of your own structures. And so just kind of leans over. He's still holding his hands behind his back and just at one point just kind of extends the hand, the serpent hand a bit to just scratch his chin, but he is keeping them behind his back and looks at this scroll and just, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I cannot read this.
Wow, Wow, you
But
really had us there for a second.
but I do know what it is.
Oh.
I cannot read it, but there are some beings. You know, the Decantheon, the 10 great eidolons. They are they are our gods. They are the most powerful figures in the known world.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not the only beings of great power. There are others, less powerful eidolons. And there are 3 that I believe wrote these and could read them. Have you heard of the Fates? I didn't think so. That's fine. Look, it's a you know, a lot of people think it's not real, you know, a hidden city under the waves where massive sea beasts tell the past, the future, and the present. It seems fake, but it's not. Well, it might be. I don't think it is, though, and I think this proves it, because this just gives me very strong fate vibes, you know? The vibes. So, yes. Yes. And he just grabs your arm, Delphine. Follow me, come. And just starts to go down another tunnel.
Okay, well, I'm going to be like, hold on. And I just want to grab that scroll again and put it back in the case.
Totally.
And then I let him tuck me.
Yeah, pulls you down. Are you 2 following, or are you staying behind?
Yeah.
Might as well follow.
Okay,
Leave me alone with this weirdo.
Yeah, we're coming. What do you make of this, Zeph? I'll ask you as we're following behind.
I think it's insane. And I think this guy's either up to something or trying to sell us something.
Okay,
good. So noted. Mm-hmm.
You're dragged into another tunnel. It's not lit, but you know, he kind of looks and he just runs back really quickly and grabs a torch to then come and light it, and you see another wall. And this one has a map that's in progress. It started to be painted on it. I didn't quite understand what it was that I was starting to build here, but you know, works. See this, and he kind of draws your attention to kind of this serpentine-like figure in the middle of the water. This must be where the Fates are. So you must get a boat, and you must go to them, and they must read this scroll, and that is how you will defeat Skotos. It's perfect. It makes perfect sense. All of my dreams, they come together. It's perfect.
Oh.
Right? It makes perfect sense.
It makes some kind of sense.
You're familiar with the OC, aren't you, Delphine, being from the Minotaur Island?
Yeah.
I've never heard of an undersea city like this.
Well, it sounds like it's something that's been lost to time, according to our friend here. What is your name? Did we get your name?
Ah, yes. My name is Zotikos. Zotikos. Yes, that S. Yes. Like the wyvern, then Zotikos. And I am the Oracle of Ophelia and Endarch of the Great Wyvern. And, you know, I've actually foreseen in some histories that I saw, or some future histories that I saw, I was with you. We were together. We were a group of 5, not 4. But in all of those, we died. So I don't think I'm supposed to go with you. But I am supposed to help you. So I will stay here, you know, make the map, answer questions, and you will go and fight Skotos and save everyone.
Oh,
this is what you must do.
Yeah, question. How do we fight Skotos and how do we kill it? Is it an it? Is it a they? Is it a what?
Delphine, what moves you?
Philosophy. I like it a lot.
Yes. The philosopher. Yes, see, I knew that, but you're a thinker. So tell me, how is it that we have a concept of nothing when it doesn't exist?
Well, I mean, if you think in opposites, then the opposite of nothing is something. So maybe.
But opposites, we understand. We understand empty, full, yes, bright, dark, but nothing isn't even a thing. It's nothing. But nothing, I believe, and I've read stories of people believing that it has existed, that nothing is something. It's not nothing after all. You see, just as we fear darkness because our forebears fell victim to its mysteries, nothing has scarred itself inside our minds. We have a generational awareness of a nothing that existed, that devoured. Yes, there is a written history somewhere that tells of it, and we know this to be true in our blood. This is Skotos. Which means that there must be an answer. Something made it go away. Yes, it was gone. It didn't exist. We thought it was a made-up story, a legend. What must that mean? That there is a way to do it again. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
That.
And who would know? Who would understand? These ancient scrolls, this scroll you showed me is so old, it must be from that time. This time before we even knew that nothing could be nothing. Instead, it was something. It was always something, but we didn't know. The fates, they must exist. That's what this map is. And you're going to go and you're going to bring them the scrolls, and they're going to tell you. They'll just tell you the answer, because that's what the fates do. They have the answer. Yes, Hunter.
You're not coming, right?
No, I think that if I come, we all die.
Yeah, no, we definitely would.
How are you feeling? Zeph. Can I call you Zeph? I feel like I can call you Zeph.
I don't feel. Sorry.
Oh. In what way do you not? Do you feel nothing? It's a very important question.
Yeah, I'll start looking at him with that same inquiry as I had before. But nothing wrong with his eyes or anything, is there?
Not that you can tell at a glance.
I'll just assume this was how you always are.
What do you mean I always am? Just we just met. Everybody stop looking at me. Look back at the weird guy that's been painting our faces. Don't look at me.
Paranoid and looking and speaking with a hoarse accent because you don't drink enough. I just assumed you were just always looking for the bad side of everything. Is that's not true?
There's only a bad side to most things.
Yeah. See, okay, so that's good. So that clears that up.
And the voice is intimidating. It's for intimidation tactics. It's people think it's scary.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, you think it's scary?
I do.
You didn't know? Yeah, you did. We were in the woods, and I got the jump on you, and I was like, "You don't pretend that it didn't work."
I don't remember that. But I want to know why our seer friend here asked how you are feeling.
Why?
Because he's nosy.
But you, specifically you, Zephyrus.
There was, some people just have, a vibe. And I just... Maybe we just need to... Maybe we're just hungry.
We were going to go have something to eat. I think that's a good idea, don't you think? I think we should totally have another a few bites to eat. Maybe a whole lot of bites to eat.
Yeah, we walked for 3 days with just eating stuff from the forest, so
Yes.
I would like a lot of bites to eat.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm only
and we'll
hungry
all...
for answers.
Justice.
Well, we can go
And I'm hungry.
together and give answers. I feel like I've given a lot of answers, honestly. I feel like I've told you everything. But if it's confusing, we can go through it again. So the first thing is that I had dreams where...
No,
Right.
no.
Where's Phoebe?
Food. We need food first.
Right, we're the other chamber, and just starts to kind of like go back down this hall, back to kind of where he was in the midst of painting something, and Phoebe appears to have returned and just sort of started to like clear off some of the like pedestals of all of the painting supplies and kind of put some food and some tea out, and she's just sort of like standing awkwardly, like, where did they go? Oh, there you are. Oh, I hope that this is well, I didn't realize I didn't ask when we had dietary restrictions, so I hope that you don't
No, I eat anything, and I just go right over to the table and start digging in.
I stay behind for a minute until everybody leaves.
Sure.
This sounds insane. What do you want me to do?
You must stop them. You have to get rid of these scrolls. This is madness. All they are going to do is waste your time. How will you ever find me if you are going on some fruitless chase for people who have never existed? Just get rid of the scrolls, save everyone the trouble, and go back to what you should be doing. Looking for me.
Yeah. And the Chimera knows where you are.
Yes, she's seen me. She stopped me.
Yeah. He heads back to the room where everyone else is.
And you also sort of see, as you're kind of walking through, kind of heading back in towards this area, is this little, like almost like this inky black, like maggot kind of thing, just sort of like sloughs out of your wrist. You don't even notice it, but we see it as an audience. Like it's kind of almost coming out of the vein, but it doesn't cut the flesh. It just sort of slips out and just kind of attaches to the wall as you go past it, and just starts to kind of just inch its way kind of across the paint. And you arrive back. You all sort of begin to have your meal, not really noticing as some of the darkest colors of the paint start to just go darker and darker until they're a black beyond black. And we'll pick up from there next week on Eidolon Alpha.
You bring the thing right here into the reddest of it's the nice place. It's the nice place, Joe. You
Yeah.
bring
Void bugs.
Just fun little darkness bugs for your skin. It's good skincare. You just kind of cover yourself in gross black nothing. It'll work.
That's all.
Clears your skin and your eyes.
Yeah,
And your soul.
No big deal.
Joe, would you like to do some business for us?
Yeah, that put us in a horrible place. We're hangry. We have to go to a maybe doesn't exist underwater city, and I have darkness bugs. Okay. Hey, we will be here next week for episode 3 of Eidolon Alpha. The VOD of this will be dropping this Monday on YouTube. If you loved this, and we hope you did, make sure you check out Tales of Zadia. Make sure you check out Hammerheads right here on this channel. Like, subscribe, follow, do all of the the things that help the algorithm and feed the content gods. And we will see you guys next week here on Roll and Keep. Stay safe. Bye.